All right, what do we have here?
So much has already happened in the first half, and the acceptance speeches have been on fire. Who got shouted out the most? Let's look at the numbers. All right, cast and crew are leading the way with 11 mentions. Moms are holding strong with 3 shout-outs. God, creator of the universe, 0 mentions. And Mario Lopez, host of Access Hollywood, 1. All right. No surprise in this godless town. No surprise in this godless town.
I just want to know, why do these celebrities, out of everybody you can mock and joke and make fun of or whatever, right? Why do they always put God in it? You know, I always had that question for myself. And the reason why is because these people serve Satan. And the weird part about it is that this is who majority of people look up to. That's just weird to me. So that's what happened to LA, guys. The award show, I think it was last week or a couple days ago. I don't know. I don't keep up with that type of stuff. But then a couple days later, you have the fires, man, in Hollywood. And one thing I noticed too about these fires, and you know, they had it in Maui. If you guys remember the Liana fires, and they have it now in Hollywood. Like, why is I always ask these questions to myself. Like, it's always the rich areas. It's never like the poor areas and things of that sort. Now, you know, there's a lot of people who say, you know, hey, it's man-made. God's not, you know, it's not God's doing, it's man-made. You know, they try to put out their agendas, you know, the 15-minute smart cities and, you know, maybe want to land grab to buy the land cheap. I've heard reports already where people who lost their homes, on Twitter at least, people came up to them and offered them to buy the land of the house. Their homes were like $4 million, and the land they were trying to give them, I think it was $750K. Personally, what I believe it's both. There's a Bible verse that says that God creates the light and darkness. So what we see, like what we see here in LA, okay, right? You see all these fires. Okay, this is all darkness. So who created this day, guys? Like, you gotta have a spiritual mind. Once you have a spiritual mind, you understand things. Who created this? Look at, this is darkness. God created this. Okay, now of course, yes, there are man-made technologies. You have HARP, Project Bluebeam, things of the sort where they can control the weather. But God has created these people to create these technologies. All right, so God is the control of all things that are happening. Even though, you know, and I'm a firm believer in the 15-minute smart cities. I believe San Francisco is going to get hit too. There's going to be a big earthquake. Something's going to shake up San Francisco because if you guys don't know, San Francisco real estate is probably down 60% since the top in 2021. You know, and the reason why that's caused so people could sell, and then, you know, the BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, Fidelity, all these investment firms, they buy it up, Wall Street, they buy it up, and they push out their agendas. It's going to be New York City, SF. It's usually those major 2 cities that always get enrolled with the whole New World agenda. Okay, it's just like, for instance, y'all remember the C, you know, the word that you can't say no more, the C word, right? This, all that type of stuff, right? It was heavily pushed in New York City and SF first, and then it spread like a wildfire all over America. Okay, you know, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. You know, why is this all happening before Trump? I mean, if you ask me, in my opinion, doesn't matter who is president. This is God's judgment. Doesn't matter who, if Trump is about to be president. Is it a coincidence? You know, I don't think so. You know, every year I notice this pattern in the first week or two of the new year. Now, of course, we know the new year is somewhere around March or April. But okay, we're in Babylon, so the Babylonian calendar, the new year in January. The first week or two, there's always something crazy that happens that's like awakening the people. And it's usually around the time the pagans and the heathens, you know, partake in their rituals, things of that sort. This is why you have a lot of sacrifices around Halloween. You always have a celebrity that dies around that time. Literally, it's always a rapper around that. Like, it's not a coincidence. So, pretty much what I'm trying to say, guys, is they're enrolling out the AI smart cities. Now, this is definitely God's judgment. 100%. Just like you all remember in North Carolina, when he had the biggest, that incident that happened over there, that's not a coincidence. Okay, let me get that Bible verse for y'all. Hold up. All right, this is in Amos, that's the next verse I'm going to read. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 7 says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. So what you're seeing, a lot of people believe it's not God's judgment, it's man-made. I can understand why people think that, because like I said, there are technologies that they have that could do that, but God's the control of it all. God allows that type of stuff to be created. Okay, so we have to understand that what you're seeing taking place, that's 100% God's judgment in LA. I used to live in LA. I don't even like visiting there. LA is probably the most low vibrational city I've ever been in, bro. It's the most narcissistic. Everybody's competing against each other. People trying to sell their souls to be on the top. I hate LA, bro. So I'm not surprised what happened in LA. And I live in California. A lot of people thought that I was affected by the fires. People saying the prayers for me and stuff like that. I live like 5 hours away from LA, but I do appreciate all the people looking out for me, prayers and stuff like that. But yeah, me and my family are good. But there's another verse too. This is in Amos, right? Yeah, Amos chapter 5, verse 20 says, let me move this real quick. Says, shout out the day of the Lord, be darkness and not light, even dark and no brightness in it. Now the context of this is talking about when Christ comes back. So it says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, right? To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee, I think my mic is too loud. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? So when Christ, what were you seeing in LA, bro? Like, that was bad. But when Christ comes back, like, that's going to be the purge, bro. Like, that's going to be the real purge. You know how everybody's preparing, like, the purge is coming. Now, the real purge, when Christ comes back, when God sends the Son back, and you're going to be walking on the streets, bro, for those who make it. God willing, we make it, right? We're going to be walking the streets. There's going to be bloodshed, because God is a God of war, bro. I'm telling you, when Christ comes back, it's going to be scary, bro. It's going to be darkness. The Bible says, you have a lot of people who will say that, like, oh, when Christ comes back, it's giving you hugs and kisses. It's going to be a beautiful day. That's not what the Bible says. That's not what the Bible says. So yeah, there's going to be bloodshed, man. Christ, the real purge. That's going to be the real purge, bro. All these movies coming out about the purge and people thinking it's going to be like that. And I don't believe it's going to be like that, man. It's going to be Christ, the real purge. I'm telling you guys, you'll be walking on the streets, blood all over, man. Dude, it's going to be ugly, man. So that's my thoughts on the whole situation of what's taking place in LA. I know I'm kind of late on making this video. Now let's react to what the news is saying, guys. All these puppets, bro. Let me show y'all something real quick. Let's let's see what Gavin Newsom has to say. And it's so funny how everybody in California complains about this guy, but yeah, they keep voting him in. Either something has to be something. Either it's rigged, which I believe it's rigged, or people are just continuously voting for these people.
This assessment. Help explain why we need this and what this means for that homeowner.
You got through the state fire.
Wait, hold up.
Cal Fire.
If y'all remember in Maui, and we understand, if y'all don't know, they gave the citizens of Maui, I think it was like $800. And if y'all don't know, Hawaii is probably one of the most expensive places to live, top 5 in America. They gave them $800. Okay. And your crane is okay. I don't want to be labeled okay, so they gave these people billions of dollars. Every time we pay in taxes, guys, that's what we're giving our money to. Every single time you pay the IRS, you pay taxes, you're giving your money to okay, that's a fact. Okay, so they gave all the money to to the other nations, right? But over here, when our own people, when so-called Americans are affected by it, they give you the crumbs. I've been telling you, these guys are scumbags, man.
Working with county partners, teams of 2 go in. They will go in a property like this. They'll assess and they will photograph and then they will post online after it's verified, about a 12-hour process, and people can go on a website. They don't have to physically be here to know if their property is damaged, and that will then begin the process for the property owner on insurance and getting us to a point where we can start.
A whole bunch of nothing. Let's look at the comments. The first thing that caught my eye, guys, is the like-dislike ratio, man. People are tired. People in California are tired of this guy. A lot of people think, too, the outsiders who are always hating on California, like, I get why people do it, because it's like the radical left here in like LA and the Bay Area is kind of crazy. But believe it or not, a lot of people here, like, I want to say a lot of people, obviously, but a lot of people are waking up, though. I would say a lot of people are waking up to the corruption of the Democrats and the radical left, and people are not, a lot of Californians are waking up, man. I'll just say that, right? So I look at the comments, man. This is a funny part. Full money for war, but no money for water. So true. Gavin, your job is to have the state ready for a tragedy, but your leadership is mismanaged and incompetent for cause the fire to be worse. Yep. Government and corrupt media, the ultimate gift. I mean, like, you see it all. Like, people are not really Newsom is finished. I highly doubt it. Put this government in jail. But I mean, this is who people vote for, bro. People are consistently voting for these people. So what's going on? He's so cringe. The snakeskin oil governor, his career is over. California residents will not vote for him again. So it took this long for y'all not to vote for him again. It's been corruption the minute he got in. You know, now I will give him credit. I don't know if it was him that passed the law, but they finally passed the law for those who know that they're going to be banning certain food ingredients, like the color dyes, the blue, that which weakens your immune system. I don't want to give medical advice, even though it's a fact that it does it. But yeah, they're actually banned. I don't know if it was him that caused it, you know, but if it is him, I'll give him the credit. But yeah, people. Let's look at these more in these fires. Let me find more. It's not going to show them the fires here.
You've heard this almost every single day.
Yeah, I mean.
Wildfires burning in LA County. The death toll now climbing to 24 people. 8 from the Palisades fire and 16 from the Eaton fire. At least 16 people are missing, with countless injuries being reported. There's good news. Firefighters are closer to containing the Hearst fire. It's now 89% contained. Meanwhile, tonight it's a race against time to contain the Palisades and Eaton fire, both now several thousands of acres large with little containment. Firefighters from across California and 9 other states are not taking for granted every second of the calm to contain the wildfires burning across Los Angeles County before the...
That's crazy, because I checked yesterday, it was 5 people who died. Now it's 24 people. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be updated more and more. I would see videos on Twitter. I don't know if I could show it to you guys, so you know that's why I'm not showing it. But people, their houses are burning down. They were still staying in the house. Like, and it reminds me of a Bible verse where Christ says that if you try to save your life, you'll lose it. And if whoever tries to whoever saves his life will lose it. And whoever loves their life will lose it, and whoever hates their life will preserve it. That's pretty much what the Bible verse says. And I guarantee you, bro, those 24 people who died, I believe it's more, but that's the reported news right now. Those 24 people who died, there were some of them who didn't want to leave the fires because they didn't want to give up their house. They probably didn't have insurance, which it makes no sense to me, because if you have a home that's millions of dollars, you could afford insurance $2,000-$3,000. No, I did hear that. This is why a lot of people are mad at the governor, because they canceled like fire insurance like a couple months before. So all those people who lost their homes, for the most part, they're not able to get it back. So this is all planned, you know, by what people call the deep state, blah blah. That's why it is, an agenda behind it, but obviously God's, allowing everything to happen. So yeah, people didn't want to lose their house or multi-million-dollar house, and they lost their life, guys. They lost their lives because of that. That's crazy to me. Like, this is all vanity. Your homes and material stuff, like, that comes and goes, but your life, you only have one chance in life. But some people, like, they were just thinking, like, to me, it's crazy. Like, if you want to, like, that's just crazy.
So Santa Ana winds pick up again. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has the latest from the historic disaster.
Taking advantage of a brief lull in the wind, firefighters on the ground putting out hotspots to prevent flames from reigniting. The National Guard spraying flame retardant from the air. And helicopters making water drops.
We have airplanes, we have helicopters, even drones. We're dropping retardant. We're dropping water everywhere we can, again, to secure that edge all around the fire.
The dangerous conditions have put more than 8 million under critical fire risk.
The vegetation is still very, very dry, so that leaves a recipe to produce some very critical fire weather conditions, and therefore that's why we do have the red flag in effect till 6 o'clock Wednesday evening.
The toll of what has already happened in Los Angeles County is unimaginable. At least 24 people are believed to be dead, and more than a dozen others remain unaccounted for. More than 12,000 structures believed damaged or destroyed, more than 60 square miles burned, more than 100,000 under evacuation orders. This as residents return to see their homes reduced to rubble.
I'm standing here in front of my home, or what was my home. It burned down to the ground a few days ago in the Palisades fires.
FEMA Director Chris Wells says active duty military will soon be deployed to join the firefighting efforts. Mexico has sent more than 70 firefighters and emergency personnel to California to help, and a team from Canada is due to arrive in Los Angeles on Monday. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Viewing may have contributed to the fires. Southern California Edison has filed safety reports related to the incidents. And
even though I'm like 5 hours away from LA, even where I'm at, it's super windy. It's so we could feel it over here where I'm at.
for continued coverage of the wildfires, you can head over to ABC 10 Plus, the ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app.
The main play, the time to bring.
So that's pretty much it. I mean, all these videos with,
new at Maurice's.
I'm not on my main page right now. That's why there's ads. But yeah, anyways, I'm out. Shalom. Peace. Love y'all.